the implications for the mainstream narrative, if indeed such a public disclosure occurred, you may begin to understand why it, along with the countless other sights and sounds I share with you all, ignored and even actively avoided. Carved into the stone long ago, there lay an astonishing, clear depiction of a man sitting in a car. A machine that could pass as having been built yesterday, claimed as having been carved some 700 years ago. However, as anybody who has watched my work for any length of time will know, the evidence would tend to disagree, with these unexplained structures more likely being that of antediluvian, that of pre-flood origin. Not only is the figure sitting within a four-wheeled vehicle, displaying advanced spoked wheels, quite possibly created using advanced metallurgy and casting, the figure depicted even gripping a steering wheel just like that of a modern vehicle, with bicycles also dotting these lost world's ruins. With one even able to find a possible depiction of the first segways, of course, if one is willing to search these vast stone canvases long enough. With even ancient aircraft, like that of the Quimbaya artifacts demonstrating the possible development of commercial flying machines. With the Nazca lines, for instance, supportive of this theory, as the enigmatic lines and drawings only fully appreciated, even able to be visualized from incredible altitudes. The question is, just how advanced did this incredible once global civilization become before abruptly disappearing? Could these mysterious artifacts, depictions, and indeed tracks possibly left by these same vehicles finally provide definitive proof of ancient developments in technology that are in direct contradiction with the current paradigm? Indeed, along with the many other discoveries I, along with many others, have found, even just within the last decade, is not just contradictory to the narrative, but suggestive, indicative, even now becoming demonstrable proof of the past existence of this lost, yet clearly once incredibly advanced civilization, whom seemingly possessed equally impressive technology. And having found the car literally etched upon the foundation stones of a temple, with others even turning up during my research, their ancient origins unarguable, yet their existence to many unbelievable. Were these ancient vehicles like that of the many Vimanas said to have been unearthed over the years, quickly stolen, subsequently denied, as ever existing? Did these vehicles, due to not fitting in with the mainstream narrative, if anything completely contradicting its arguments, end up within an eccentric billionaire's private collection? Perhaps left within the bowels of certain academic, historic, and even religious institutions? Hidden deep within their underbelly, locked away within their vaults for all eternity. I will of course keep you posted regarding any more of these amazing depictions of ancient secrets if and when they turn up. It is a discovery which I find highly compelling. Although ancient Egypt, in particular the Great Pyramids, undoubtedly garner the most attempts by academics the world over to explain the ancients' methods for construction. Plucky, tenacious, and brave as they may be, they struggle and fail time and time again in providing the proof to their claims. The burden of proof, clear to more than ever before, sitting firmly at their feet. We wait ever patient for the answers from those who claim to have established all the facts. The exposure of their glaring lack of evidence or any explanation finally revealing just how shaky and fund-infested this paradigm, or rather agenda, is. Yet we see the continuation of their claim that they were built by the Egyptians, even in the face of such a factual and logical opposition. Yet luckily for us, although the Great Pyramid's phony construction may now be etched into everybody's heads, as being built block by block, with ropes, whipped slaves, and rolled across logs, all thanks to this historical propaganda forced down our throats since childhood. Ancient Egypt also contains the smoking gun in regards to just how advanced this now lost civilization's stone-cutting technologies actually were. Not only in their ability to cut such stones, but indeed move, lift, and work with them, perfectly placing them upon one another, often of enormous sizes and with astonishing accuracy. These structures never requiring the use of mortar, perfectly aligned, perfectly built, and still standing thousands and thousands of years later. The unfinished obelisk, along with the many other megaliths we share on our channel, such as that of the toppled obelisk of Axum, or even the gargantuan blocks in Yangshan, many thousands of tons in weight, we feel, all clear evidence of the same civilization. It should be obvious to all who have spent any time exploring these megalithic sites that this civilization were clearly incredibly advanced, and that to suggest differing primitive civilizations, which according to the archaeological record are the only ever inhabitants of said sites, somehow came up with the same tools, techniques, and ability to move such enormous stones, sometimes thousands of tons in weight, hundreds of miles by sheer coincidence, should appear preposterous. Although some areas of Aswan Quarry exhibits the same diagonal tool marks as those found throughout Japan, China, Petra, and so on, the tool marks found upon the unfinished obelisk are some of the clearest scoop marks still visible anywhere on the planet. This ultimately due to the particularly extraordinary density of pink Aswan granite. Yet this civilization somehow seemingly scooped the granite as if it were ice cream. It has long been rumored that the ancients were able to melt stone, and we have indeed found compelling anomalies to back up such claims. Yet, instead of liquefying these stones with heat, did they once possess the ability to manipulate their atomic structure, perhaps via the utilization of sound resonance? It would explain why sound seemingly played such a significant role in the decorative choice made throughout antiquity, in particular ancient India, with many temples displaying columns shaped into 3D visualizations of sound frequencies, with some temples such as that of the Vitali having 12 columns intentionally built to resonate at specific frequencies when struck. Could these ancient stone-cutting tools not be cutting at all, but instead literally altering the stone's atomic structure? Everything within the universe is built on frequency. Every solid object simply created via the frequency of our dimension. If you change the frequency of something, it would vanish. Perhaps the many false doors we also find throughout antiquity were indeed portals. Perhaps the ancients mastered not only the manipulation of atomic frequency, but the successful synchronization with an entirely different dimension. Yet, I digress. I am beginning to suspect that it is not a matter of revising the many sites here upon our planet that will unravel how they achieved such feats, or just to what extent they had unraveled the secrets of the universe, but rather a case of our own technological development and our own understandings. Only then will we realize that they knew it all along. It is a journey which we find highly compelling. Recently, there has been some incredible revelations surrounding a selection of Egyptian anomalies, finally exposing the ludicrous and sheer impossibility of the currently upheld historical narrative in regards to who built ancient Egypt. The relics, which were apparently left by the builders of Giza, that of ancient Egyptian slaves using only copper chisels and stones for hammers, have begun to produce evidence of precision, workmanship, and indeed utilization of lost technology, which is set to finally blow the pharaoh theory out of the proverbial water once and for all. Along with the many varying conservation efforts in the form of casing stones found and exposed here upon the channel, which, due to the differing erosion levels found upon the blocks, clearly evidence of the structure's true age. Not to mention a section even formed from the lost knowledge of polygonal masonry, with the enigmatic protuberances found upon them. Regardless of the accuracy of the Great Pyramid, with tunnels and star shafts running through the entire structure, tunnels built so perfectly as to having once been hermetically sealed during construction, or the fortunately now better-known fact that there no evidence these pyramids were tombs. None ever found physically, or indeed, no claims within any ancient Egyptian literature. No evidence they were capable of achieving these feats, with not even one viable working explanation established by even that of modern man. No written evidence anywhere, no depictions of the construction, nothing. A smoking gun proving these ruins the work of a now lost global civilization. We may now finally have before us clear evidence of the fallacies surrounding ancient Egypt that have long been peddled as fact. Clear, undeniable examples of the utilization of equipment capable of achieving levels of precision so astonishing it has never been seen again. Of course, I am referring to the vast yet rarely discussed Egyptian vases, jugs, and the many other seemingly perfectly cast or cut artifacts, with solid granite stone cores, all long claimed to have been the result of primitive bow drills, stone hammers, and soft copper chisels. However, it instead, and rather ironically, all proof of this pharaoh deception. Yet it all still litters the many display cabinets within the Cairo Museum. With this team of ancient historian legends, made up of such individuals as that of Chris Dunn or John Anthony West, joined forces with a number of individuals within the precision industry, all in an effort to not only fully understand the methodology and technologies used to complete such tasks, but to try to identify what the limits were of these now long-lost machines. It is as if the ancients somehow possessed 3D printers for solid stone, with the series of discoveries made during the investigation not only mind-blowing, but capable of turning the historical narrative on its head. These small, unassuming vases, each somehow formed from a solid block of granite, piqued the interest of a group of engineers, whom, upon noticing the accuracy and indeed hardness of the stone, began to doubt the mainstream narrative in regard to all of these sites and the accompanying archaeological artifacts, all once born out of the stone, with nothing more than copper chisels. They would initially begin with conventional machines to measure their diameter and overall thickness inside and outside of the vases, but to their surprise, the instrument not sensitive enough to give an accurate reading. Thus, they then upped the ante with laser scanning equipment, the same instruments which exposed the utterly mind-bending precision still to be found within certain sites, such as the Ellora Caves, which, thanks to being protected from the elements for untold millennia, still retains the level of accuracy accomplished upon its completion. Forced to utilize the most cutting-edge technology simply to establish just how spot-on our lost ancestors were, I feel this in and of itself proof that these objects simply impossible to create with the primitive tools academics still expect us to believe were used in the creation of Egypt, using bows to laboriously cut and shape each stone artifact, statue, building, or even pyramid, yet continuing to claim that they, a mere 4,000 years old and built in just 20 years. I feel this already a ludicrous stance to take, yet the fact that they have claimed them as pharaohs' tombs from the beginning, I feel, a clear indication that their true purpose is indeed known of, yet hidden from the larger world. Yet, I digress. Upon using laser measuring instruments to their utter amazement, the laser itself still not accurate enough to produce the readings needed to truly establish these artifacts' accuracy, and indeed, the abilities of their creator. Thus, the team would then subject the vases to X-ray and CT scanning technology again in an attempt to establish their true levels of perfection, with the CT scanners being able to record down to the size of a single micron. To put this into perspective, a single micron being many times smaller than the width of a human hair, 100 times smaller in fact. So, just to reiterate, we have granite vases apparently from the dynastic period of Egypt, many of which so precise and delicate as to allow light to shine through their sides. Parts somehow made by someone, which according to academically funded historians, were mere Egyptian slaves and artists, that with the use of some unknown means, as mentioned, seemingly producing 3D printed granite, artifacts so accurate in fact as to border on perfection. Even with today's technology, we are pushed to even establish the accuracy of their dimensions, let alone to recreate such wonders. And yet, mainstream academia continue to claim the same old story, with mine, along with many others' work, vindicated a little more each day, as each astonishing, seemingly impossible object arrives from the earth into the light of day, all of which lost within the darkness of time, forgotten of for untold millennia, all slowly confirming what I have been saying for over a decade of research, determined to keep the Overton window forever shifting. For the truth sticks more than a lie, regardless of the incredible wealth poured into such historical fallacies. And indeed, the preservation of the existence within the zeitgeist, the facts we present cannot be denied or hidden. They can merely be overlooked, avoided, or dismissed. By utilizing this technology, they were able to gather readings that were simply astonishing. Not only were the straight edges along the many vases so close to perfect as to be swinging 1 or 2 microns off here or there, the spherical nature of many of the vases now established to have been created to near perfection. And due to their age, these discrepancies may merely just be down to handling them. When first created, there is incredibly a high possibility that they were indeed perfect in their creation. The pattern found within the vase's design measurements now also established to have been based upon sacred geometry, something known as radial traversion, meaning that the entire shapes of these artifacts based upon a harmonic ratio, with the ratio itself found to be none other than that of the speed of light per meters per second within a vacuum. Undoubtedly stunning the team, this discovery, however, linking perfectly with another clue left as to the possible true purpose of the Great Pyramids themselves. With the coordinates in which all three sit indeed this same exact number, this cannot be mere coincidence. It is as if to indicate that this entire lost civilizations ruins its artifacts. Even the pyramids themselves all point to light and frequency as the clue to the secrets they hold. Could this all have something to do with our own sun? Or, as it is light within a vacuum specifically, could this indicate that it is not about our sun at all, but light through space possibly coming from another star? Could all of this hidden knowledge, once fully unraveled, lead us to not only realize what happened to this mysterious lost civilization, but perhaps a map to find another? Thanks to Chris, John, and the team over at Uncharted X for doing such stellar work, pun intended. Go check out his video links in the description. What do you think regarding these stunning ancient artifacts, built by Egyptians with copper tools, or built by someone, or possibly something else entirely, something far more advanced? They are undoubtedly highly compelling.